Union, the official credit union of Massachusetts Athletics. UMass 5 College Credit Union voted best auto loan provider for consecutive years in the Daily Hampshire Gazette Reader's Choice poll. Different look for St. Louis. Javon Pickett scratched late. He is down with illness, so Terrence Hargrove Jr. will get his first start of the season. And then for the Minutemen, third consecutive start for Isaac Conte as the big man Wildens Levesque deals with a knee injury, and hopefully the Minutemen will have him back soon. To tip it up here for the first home conference game for the Minutemen, and we are underway from Amherst, controlled by Yuri Collins in this St. Louis offense that Frank alluded to in the open, leads the A-10 77 points per game. And Collins' pass goes over to Hargrove, deflected and out of bounds on the Billikens. It'll be Massachusetts basketball.
And actually, Jay, this is a strong two-way team. Billikens is #1 in scoring, but #2 in the Atlantic 10 in field goal percentage defense at less than 40%, and #2 in rebound margin as well.
Noah Fernandez controlling for UMass. He missed 5 games at the end of the non-conference slate with that ankle injury. Came back against St. Bonaventure, where UMass did not have a good showing on New Year's Eve. Here's Cross with a first bucket tonight.
Good simple play by Cross, cutting against what looked to be a zone. But when you've got a quality point guard like Collins, you can fully expect the Billikens to go up and down in transition.
Yeah, that Collins-Fernandez matchup tonight is going to be so enthralling. Here's Perkins for 3. That's off the mark. Offensive board for Hargrove, and he puts it in.
Now, Terrence Hargrove has significant experience. He's off the bench normally, but 90 career games, soft touch, big-time energy for the Billikens off the bench.
Out of East St. Louis, Hargrove, first start of the season, contributes right away. UMass on the year 9-4, and here's Cross again. Hard take, altered at the rim by Okoro. Up ahead and transition. Jimerson for 3. It's good.
This is what they do. They'll play a 80-85 possession game, the Billikens. They'll push it on misses. They'll push it on makes. They'll take a 1-pass or 2-pass catch and shoot if it's there.
Jimerson coming off a 22-point performance, a season high for him against St. Joseph's. Here's Martin in the paint.
You know,
Brandon Martin.
We've seen this from the Minutemen before. Brandon Martin getting off to a good start against zone defense, specifically against Dartmouth and a little bit against Albany. Finding rhythm right there against the zone.
Thinking about that Albany game where he hit 4 straight right in the middle of the paint. Yep. Billikens with a 1-point lead. 2 minutes into this one. Perkins missed all of last year with that knee injury.
Good closeout by Weeks to get to Jimerson behind the line. You know, Jay, we fully anticipate some urgency in the defensive end.
There you can see Travis Ford, former UMass head coach, was here for 3 years, then Oklahoma State. Should have had 2 tournament appearances for St. Louis, but that one squad during the COVID year unfortunately couldn't represent the Billikens. Jimerson deep 3, that's no good, and Gapare, who checked in with a rebound for Massachusetts. UMass around 70 points per game. They were held to 64 in the loss on New Year's Eve up at Olean. Here's Cross for the deep 3.
You can see pitch it ahead to Jimerson. Good closeout by Weeks to get to the 3-point line.
I think one of the questions now becomes for St. Louis. Okoro called for steps. So we take a look at Frank Martin. Oh, he's animated on the sidelines. Certainly not thrilled with that performance to open conference play. A little clunky for UMass down the stretch in that non-con after winning the Myrtle Beach Invitational.
Yeah, that was the largest deficit of a loss this season, -19. So 3 of their last 4 losses have come in the last 5 ball games.
There's a couple of early technicals in that game. I think that really skewed it in favor of the Bonnies. 1-point lead for St. Louis. Here's Fernandez, and he'll use the window.
Early we can see the Minutemen are clearly a goal to drive the ball into the teeth of the defense. Noah doing a nice job there.
Offensive foul drawn by Gapare as Perkins, the senior, picks up the first offense tonight. I was going to say there, Coach, what does this St. Louis team look like if Javon Pickett is unavailable tonight?
You know,
how much depth?
Yeah, he brought them a ton of scoring. That was, you know, 1,000-point scorer, transfer from Missouri, 20 points, 6 for 11 from the field against St. Joe over the weekend. So some momentum lost there as well. But Hargrove and Thatch off the bench have always been quality players for the Billikens.
Thatch is a force, and he has checked in, and that's 2 quick fouls on Perkins.
Once again, you see the Minutemen driving the basketball against the Billikens. Clearly an intention in these early possessions to see what they can get off the dribble.
And St. Louis will bring in Jake Forrester. Transfer from Temple by way of Indiana.
Huge addition for them, leading them in field goal percentage of 56.
Nice feed from Conte, and Fernandez will finish.
This is one of the areas the Minutemen have been very effective at. Baseline out of bounds plays. Terrific hook up there with the pass from Conte.
There's Collins, who leads the world in assists. He averages a double-double in assists and points per game.
And we can see a ton of ball screens. Here's another one. That's 2 in this possession alone for Collins.
Pull-up jumper left side is good for Sincere Parker, the sophomore.
Sincere is a JUCO player.
Weeks on the other end, kept alive by Cross. Second effort for UMass, no. Back to Weeks with the left hand. No luck there, and the rebound for St. Louis.
Good illustration of what the Minutemen have done all year. Get the extra possessions on the offensive glass.
Here's Thatch through the lane, and Fred Thatch Jr. with his first bucket tonight.
That's just running the court. You can see the speed of transition. You go. When you have a guy like Collins, you know I'll run because he might find me.
Does this speed advantage St. Louis?
Absolutely. They want to play 80-plus possessions in the game. This is why they're leading the conference in scoring.
Fernandez will hoist the 3 around. No luck there either, and the rebound pulled down by the Billikens.
They'll outlet to him every time. You can see his vision as he attacks the floor.
Collins feeds Forrester. Greeted by Conte, and he muscles it up somehow.
Now Forrester gives him excellent depth in the front court. The Temple transfer, shooting 56% from the field, number 10.
Offensive foul called on Matt Cross. A little out of control at the 15:06 mark, which will bring us to our first media timeout. Rapid pace to begin this one from Amherst. St. Louis with the lead and the ball when we come back.
It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with KDVS. Can we talk?
Absolutely.
It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Hey, you. It's that time of year again. Then it's okay to get a little...
True story. The SEC plays hard-nosed basketball. This is going to be a heavyweight fight. Everyone's watching.
Capitals Blue Jackets tomorrow on ESPN.
UMass and St. Louis, typically in recent history, they've played 2 games per year with an extra team added to the A-10. Only 1 game against St. Louis this season. Billikens have dominated the program series history, but UMass has won 2 of the last 3 in this building, including a flat-footed game for St. Louis a year ago.
And for these 2 rosters, not a lot of commonality. Minutemen so much attacking the transfer portal. On the other hand, with the Billikens, a lot of guys back, as we've talked about, who have been through the series and have been through the rotation of Atlantic 10 play.
We'll talk about the experience that they've got in a little bit, but they are on a 6-0 run right now as we approach the under 15. Jimerson rises, and it's short, kept alive. Billikens another look, second offensive rebound of the day. That's where UMass has to dominate.
Yeah, good quick rebound on the weak side.
Too strong on that pass from Collins. St. Louis turns it over. Weeks in the corner for three. Indeed.
Beautiful catch and shoot for Weeks, and certainly what the Minutemen need, more consistency from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, he's really been the only threat for UMass from long distance. Jimerson tries to respond, and DeAndre Dominguez, who only played a handful of minutes in the loss on New Year's Eve, in there for the Minutemen. Backdoor cut to Weeks, and UMass, well, I think it made one off a foot of Forrester, so the Minutemen catch a break here.
Right now, TJ Weeks doing an excellent job with Jimerson. We saw the last possession of defense, brought him inside the three-point line, off the closeout, made him go to a pull-up jumper right there. And let's hope that guy 45 at the top of the screen gets it going tonight. Dominguez, he's had such a good year.
He sure has. You know, both of these teams have struggled to shoot the three-point ball so far this season. Hard take for Cross. Man, he's so physical. Missed it, but gets the putback.
Continues to be a factor on the offensive glass.
Well, St. Louis coming off that win. We're 6 of 19 from three-point range. UMass 5 of 20.
The St. Louis team, you really don't expect a lot of turnovers. Their percentage of turnovers is in the top 50 in the country at about 16%.
Well, that's because you got one of the best in the business.
That helps.
Here's a head of steam for Thatch, and he draws the foul on Dominguez. I think he was in the arc, and that takes some guts to step up with a head of steam of Thatch coming your way.
This is something Dre Dominguez has always done. He's been an aggressive secondary defender. There was an excellent rotation there.
Feet were outside the arc. It's still moving apparently, and Thatch will head to the free throw line. Fifth-year redshirt junior Fred Thatch, de facto backup point guard for this team, a guy that does it all. He's got muscle, he's got strength, he plays bigger than his size.
Yeah, you see Coach Martin there. He's their glue guy. He's a determined competitor with a solid floor game and always good with the basketball. 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio, over 100 career games in a Billiken uniform.
I mentioned the St. Louis team, also one of the best or the best in the A-10 in free throw percentage. 1 point lead for the Minutemen. Tough pass from Gapare, handled by Martin, missed the shot, and there's Collins with a rebound.
Watch them run the court at the top of the screen.
Mid-range, no, and Luis, the freshman for UMass, out the other way. Dominguez will throw up a floater. It's good for DeAndre.
So good at getting his balance in the floater, and you can see Billikens go right back at the Minutemen.
Maybe a year ago, you look at a player like that and say that would have been a charge.
Absolutely.
Going right at the defender.
Oh, his game has grown in the last year.
Gapare creates the steal, but it'll be a foul on the freshman Tafara Gapare. Poked it out from behind of Larry Hughes Jr., the freshman and son of former NBAer and Billiken Larry Hughes. Might see a little bit more of him today again. Javon Pickett for the Billikens, in case you're just joining us, out with an illness. We found out just prior to tip.
We're hoping to see a little bit more of that guy number 2 on the basketball, Tafara Gapare. His dynamic presence is felt every time he gets in the game.
Averaging just under 11 minutes per game. Here's Hargrove down low, and he throws it down over Keon Thompson. UMass got caught off guard out top, going for the steal. And Luis will throw it off the foot of Forrester with 12:43 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, we talk about the Billikens such experience. Here's the Minutemen right now. 3 out of the 5 players on the floor are freshmen.
Take a look back here. This created because Dominguez went for the steal out top, and Hargrove his second bucket tonight. You see that with Frank Martin. He's not afraid to play
absolutely
variety of rotations in younger players. Thompson, mid-range, banks it in.
Yeah, forced into a difficult shot, Keon, but able to find the backboard.
Kind of an odd stretch for Keon Thompson. He went from 0 points against North Texas, 1 point against St. Bonaventure. Hargrove for 3 from the corner was deflected. UMass looking to add to a 3-point advantage. Brandon Martin got his man up in the air. Dominguez. Martin hit 2 threes against the Bonnies. Starting to get his shooting calibrated. Luis from the elbow, that's no good, and Gapare battling for the rebound, got tied up with Larry Hughes Jr. And it will be St. Louis basketball. That'll bring us to our next media timeout. 11:55 to go in this first half. A rapid pace to begin this one. Billikens ball when we come back.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
The final chapter. Can the Horned Frog secure this?
Capitals Blue Jackets tomorrow on ESPN.
You gotta be kidding me!
11:55 to go here in the first half. UMass up by 3. We talked about DeAndre Dominguez entering beast mode this year, increasing points per game, rebounds per game. But it's really, Coach, the shot selection that's been so superb for DeAndre.
You know, shooting 73% from the field. He's actually an analytics-driven gem. If you follow that dislike the mid-range game, he's behind the three-point line scoring. He's scoring at the rim. He gets a lot in transition. Those are the two areas that the analytics mavens believe, rim and three-pointer, you should be striving for in offense.
Provides a lot of that energy, much like Hargrove does for St. Louis off the bench. Jimerson, nifty move, has it swatted by Gapare, and he rips it away.
Just natural timing, Gapare.
Beast mode for DeAndre. Yeah. Couldn't get it in a charge called. Well, maybe eyes a little bigger than the stomach there.
That's what we were saying, though. Get to the rim. You know, we saw the floater the other time, but Dre was intent on getting to the rim on this.
How about the freshman, Larry Hughes, standing his ground.
He sure did.
And takes the charge. Can't blame a guy for trying, I guess. Second foul on DeAndre Dominguez. You like the energy and effort there, but you had two guys with you.
Yeah. Another high ball screen for Collins. Weeks really doing a good job right here in Jimerson. Bottom of the screen.
Hughes Jr. lethal from there, and he knocks it down.
You know, Hughes hadn't gotten much of an opportunity. He got a little bit run in the St. Joe game the other night and showed that he can score from behind the three-point line.
Well, how about this? He's 4 for 4 in his young collegiate career from beyond the arc. That ties it up. Weeks had a step, couldn't pull the trigger. To Conte. And it's batted away by Larry Hughes Jr.
It's a tough pass to handle. The lob pass forced him to come out of his stance to try to secure the ball and lost all his power that he had generated with the setup.
Post for the first time to Okoro, muscling down Conte.
Look at that. Look at that.
A lot of contact. Now the roll to Okoro, and Okoro with the finish.
Now that's the thing about Collins. He's so good at not going fully and waiting for the roll to happen. That was a short roll, and he delivered.
Martin muscles one up on the other end. Now we talked about this pace, Coach, and you look at the Billikens' losses. You were pointing this out to us in the commercial break. The games they've lost have been that low-scoring affairs. Okoro will throw it away. He had Hargrove along the baseline.
The games that they didn't expect to lose to Edwardsville and Boise, those were all low-scoring games, much like the Minutemen had with North Texas. Not saying that's the dynamic. That North Texas game was certainly a very slow-paced game.
That Edwardsville loss for St. Louis, one that will kind of hang over their heads this season. think you didn't expect, much like UMass losing to Lowell on the other side. Two teams that are playing opponents within their region.
And so disappointing.
Teams get up for those, don't they?
After they had beaten, the Billikens had beaten Providence and beaten Memphis. Two teams that a lot of national chatter about.
Great Providence team. Here's Conte. Conte throws it high off the glass.
There's the power, and that's his game. Left shoulder, right hand. Did a nice job extending the release point away from his body there.
First bucket for Conte tonight. Pass tipped around. A dangerous run from St. Louis. It finds Larry Hughes Jr. He misses it. Gets it back. Fresh 20 to work with here for St. Louis. Another offensive rebound for the Billikens.
You know, you usually don't talk about rebounding your own shot, but it just came to Hughes.
Collins got deep, and he draws the foul on Cross with 8 on the shot clock. I know, I'm going to say that's going to be on Conte. Picks up his first.
This is just an look at the vision as he looks and attacks the rim at the same time.
Yuri Collins, 77% free throw shooter, the junior from St. Louis. Has been such a difference maker for this team. Only scored 3 points, excuse me, Coach, in the last game, but controlled the game.
His last game, Jay, 15 assists, 1 turnover in a hard-fought game on the road at St. Joe.
His first 2 points tonight.
St. Joe actually pressed a good volume in that game as well.
That was a good game, too. Close game up until the end.
Change in defense now for the Billikens with a high extended 1-3-1. Collins in the back. They've got length here, as you can see, as the Minutemen try to pass over the top of it. Now they convert back to man-to-man.
Saw that zone really work for Dartmouth in the first half against UMass. The end of the non-conference. Fade away for Fernandez. No. Jimerson with the rebound.
Change of defense right there, mid-possession, back to man. Rim run right there by Forrester.
And Forrester will finish down low. His second bucket tonight. Averages 7 per game. 3 years at Temple after 1 year at Indiana. Cross, catch and go into the corner. Weeks will rise for 3. It's good. TJ Weeks with a triple.
Excellent job by TJ. Jimerson closed out with just one hand up. Just enough for TJ to shoot over it.
23rd three-point make of the year for TJ Weeks. Collins sends it out to Jimerson. Weeks on him. Jimerson for 3. That's no good. And the rebound there again. Hargrove to get it. Hargrove lost it.
Second possession in a row. Billikens retrieved their own miss on a 3.
It's the 4th offensive rebound of the game, and we got a whistle amongst the bodies down low. Jake Forrester will pick up his first foul. It's been a fun one so far, huh, Coach?
You know, and the ball moves quickly, and I think that's enjoyable offense for everybody. A multitude, as you look at Forrester, of ball screens. If you're guarding Yuri Collins, you're going to get whacked a lot. It's been tough on Noah Fernandez tonight, guarding that dribbler.
And you still wonder how healthy Fernandez is with that ankle, missing 5 games.
It's just good to have him back and see the ball in his hands.
Also getting Rasul Diggins back tonight for the Minutemen after being away for the St. Bonaventure game for the birth of his daughter. Congratulations to Rasul and newborn Raya, newest Massachusetts fan. Timeout, 7:51 to go. Minutemen up by 1.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with KDVS. Can we talk?
Absolutely.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
The final chapter. Can the Horned Frog secure this?
Alex Ovechkin. Stars from around the globe reunite in Saudi Arabia.
Kentucky, number 7 Alabama, Saturday at 1 on ESPN. Everybody's working for the weekend.
Oh, we talked about this St. Louis team and how lethal they are. Take a look at the preseason hardware that they gathered this year. Yuri Collins, first team and all defensive team player. Jimerson Perkins, second team. Oh, by the way, the leading rebounder, or second this year, is the third team player, Francis Okoro.
And I think Okoro was on the all defensive team too, if I'm not mistaken. But how about the coaches respecting Perkins so much? This guy didn't play last year, Perkins, and the coaches put him on the preseason. No understanding of how he would come back. Just great respect for the Billiken program from everybody that voted in that preseason.
Yeah, averaged 17 points per game did Perkins in his last healthy year.
Yeah.
Tweaked a left knee in an exhibition just before the start of last year. Was the preseason player of the year in the A-10. Here's Conte on the catch and score.
Good pass from Fernandez, put it right to him. He set up nicely. Noah delivers the ball on the bounce.
Fernandez says, hey, I can do this assist thing too, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to come out of a timeout if you're the Minutemen. Again, he's just getting.
And down the lane goes Forrester, but Luis is there to swat it away. To the corner cross. Luis now with the triple. It's good.
RJ staying aggressive. This is his 8th three-pointer of the season.
St. Louis needs a timeout. How about the excitement that Luis generates, and it starts on the defensive end?
It sure does. He's such a superior athlete. He's shown before the verticality and timing to block shots. Doing a nice job being confident at the other end as the Minutemen now go 3 for 6 from behind the three-point line, 50%.
Forrester 6'9", 225, bombing down the lane, and Luis, the freshman, steps up and makes the play and then gets it back on the other side. So UMass on a 6-0 run. The largest lead of the day, 8-0 run.
It's been a learning experience for all the UMass players, but more acutely Coach Martin with these freshmen. He's been hard on them. They respect him. They know where it's coming from. He's holding them accountable. Been tough on RJ from time to time, tough on Keon from time to time, but we see them continue to respond, become more aggressive, tougher players as we get deeper into the season.
We'll see how St. Louis responds to that energizing play from UMass and the freshman RJ Luis. Approaching the 7-minute mark, Collins takes it into his own hands and he knocks down the J.
You know, that's the thing that he's done the last 2 years. He's improved his scoring, Jay, but hasn't ignored his distribution duties.
Shooting 40% from the field. Collins up to 4 points tonight. To the post, Conte draws the double, finds the charging Luis, got Okoro in the air, and I'll head to the free throw line here as Francis Okoro picks up his first offense.
Beautiful cut by Luis. Go cut, feed the post, have your defender look at the postman and dig down and cut behind him. Smart play by RJ Luis.
I'll say that's created by Conte being able to have the vision.
Drawing people too, you know, drawing a top defender. If you're not going to double team a defender, digging down, as we say.
So here's Luis, 63% free throw shooter on the season. This has been one area where UMass has scuffled this season. 68% as a team.
RJ in double figures the last game for the 5th time this season, had 11 at Bonaventure.
So 1 out of 2 for RJ Luis, up to 4 points in this first half.
Minutemen continuing to shoot well at 56% from the field.
Jimerson on the backdoor cut, blocked again by Luis. And he's out of bounds. Okoro was standing on the end line. 7 turnover.
Yeah, good back cut by Jimerson. We can't overstate it. 56% from the field right now. This St. Louis team holds their opponents under 40%.
Jimerson really had a good angle there after the backdoor cut.
Yeah. But this is St. Louis team is one of 2 in the league. Dayton the other. Hold people under 40% from the field.
Martin gets his man in the air, sends it out to Luis. 8 to shoot. Luis in the paint. Little fadeaway over. Jimerson rattles home.
How about the confidence by the freshman? We've known it all season. He can get places off the dribble as he did there.
Really loves that mid-range game as well.
Jay, he can create his own shot for a young player.
Largest lead of the game here now for Massachusetts at 7. Here's Fred Thatch, had it blocked, and I think Martin swatted it off the back of Thatch Jr. Heads up play.
You know, the Minutemen defense has been decent all season long, especially the field goal percentage defense. This is a good rotation by Martin.
That was Gapare who started it, and then Martin able to finish it.
Those long arms of Gapare.
Troublesome. As we've reached A10 action this season, UMass at 9-4. After losing the first A10 game up at St. Bonaventure, running action now for Luis. Luis trying to get hot, missed it, had it altered, and pulled down by Okoro.
Did a good job with his curl cut, got it nicely in the lane.
Yuri.
Good job by Thompson, Keon Thompson guarding Collins. Not afraid to put the pressure on him, as you can see.
He finds Okoro, and steps taken. 8th turnover of the game for St. Louis. They only averaged 12 per contest.
This is a team, and as you talked about before, when you got a guy like Collins and gets the ball in his hands as much as he does, you're going to have a high success rate.
But Dominguez back out there with 2 fouls for the Minutemen. Martin hit a couple of these on New Year's Eve. That's no good, and the rebound, Collins. Gapare called for the foul. And the defense here for the Minutemen, creating offense on the other end. Gapare getting it going. Luis finished that one off with a 3. And how about RJ again?
And that's a sign of a good defensive team, Jay. You go from a defensive team to a defensive rebounding team, or a team that challenges shots at the rim. Good job by the 2 freshmen negotiating that ball screen.
Thatch finds Hughes Jr. wide open, and that's his first 3-point miss of his collegiate career. Had a good look at it, did Larry Hughes Jr. He's going to be something else.
Oh, he sure is. Yeah. Right now, the St. Louis bench has outscored the Minutemen bench, something we don't see very often. Actually, they're 4th in the league with bench scoring. Minutemen, of course, way ahead, number 9 in the country with bench scoring at 33 points a game.
Gapare will draw the foul on Fred Thatch Jr. And we got 4:14 to go. We're inside the final 5 of the half, presented by Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Matt Cross back in for UMass. Scored 4 points early on. Minutemen 3 of 7 from long distance. St. Louis, their struggles continue from beyond the arc, 2 of 9. And most recently, that wide open look for Larry Hughes Jr. UMass trying to find their offense without Fernandez on the floor. That's been an issue.
Yeah, exactly. This St. Louis team 12th in the Atlantic 10, Jay. 3-point shooting.
Not what you expected. Martin will hoist another one. That's no good. Tapped around, and Thompson first to get there. Keon baseline floater. It's good.
Good aggressive job by Keon Thompson, getting the 50-50 ball on the floor, being a guard rebounder, and then finishing the play.
Largest lead of the game now, 9 for Massachusetts. Wide open look for Fred Thatch Jr. He missed it all. And oh no, Fred Thatch Jr. down on the court. They'll carry on. He's on the backcourt now, and finally a whistle. And Frank Martin out to take a look at Fred Thatch Jr. Just landed awkwardly amongst several bodies. And you hate to see this as he gets attended to. We will step aside and hopefully have good news when we come back. UMass up 34-25 with 3:29 to go.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with KDVS. Can we talk?
Absolutely.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck! Is that a new iPhone?
Yep.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
True story. The SEC plays hard-nosed basketball.
This is going to be a heavyweight fight. This is the last chapter. There were two teams left. Georgia out to defend their throne.
Capitals Blue Jackets tomorrow on ESPN.
Oh, Fred Thatch Jr. just walked off the court with a little help, limping. It looked like a lower body injury. And I brought this up earlier today. We created a graphic for it because of how strong and impactful and just what a great basketball player Fred Thatch is. He's such a glue guy here, and unfortunately for the Billikens, it looks like they'll be without him for the foreseeable future tonight.
He plays so fearless, and that was a great example there, and gave them the versatility to move Collins off the basketball, and let's hope he's okay, certainly, but well respected throughout this league.
Got a nice round of applause as he walked towards the locker room. Well, St. Louis has to figure out how to carry on here. It's a 13-2 run for UMass.
Minutemen now going to their zone.
Parker takes the three. That's no good. And Gapare there for the rebound.
Got what they wanted out of the zone off the timeout. A one-and-done situation with the defensive board.
Conte's been battling Okoro down low. Little shoulder shake for Conte, and it's blocked by Okoro. Scrum for the basketball. Crosscut taken down.
Okoro did a good job sitting on his strong shoulder, made him go the other way.
Was expecting that for sure.
Yeah.
And now with 2:45 to go, St. Louis looking for some offensive answers, and they'll turn it over. Gapare running the floor. A little Euro step for him. He has it blocked by Okoro. Cross can't spin it up, and we're heading the other way. Out to Parker in the open court. Parker misses the shot, but Hargrove there to tip it in. They'll wave it off. Little too eager.
Very eager. It was a good situation for the Billikens. There wasn't good defensive balance for the Minutemen at that point, and they were able to get out in the open court. Sincere Parker, the junior college player, getting a little more run now with Thatch out of the lineup. And hasn't been as efficient as he was in junior college just yet for the Billikens, but the expectations are high that he could get it going.
Fernandes' little hesitation draws the foul, and will head to the free throw line. First foul on Yuri Collins. Stick around for halftime. We'll take you through some memories from the last time Travis Ford was head coach of the Minutemen. Let's get some highlights, stats, and set you up. Scores as well around the Atlantic 10. Busy day at A10 basketball. Fernandes up to 5 points now in the first half, averaging just under 12 per game this season.
This Billiken defense we talked about, second in the Atlantic 10, holding opponents to 39% shooting from the field. Minutemen right now at 45. Not a high steal team, maybe four and change per game. Just good, solid half-court D from the Billikens.
Collins trying to create. Collins goes down low, has it knocked away. Hargrove regathers. To Parker through the lane. And Okoro with a two-handed flush.
Okoro being guarded by Conte. Conte had to rotate, left him open, tight to the rim. No second rotation to get to him.
That ends a 15-2 run for UMass. The whistle down in the post.
One of the things that Isaac Conte does, Jay, very good at his setups in the low post. You can see he had to rotate on that defensive possession, left Okoro open for the little dish-off pass.
Foul on Gibson Jimerson, that's his first, and seventh team foul on St. Louis. Well, first end of the 1-and-1 for Conte is good. He's been such a tremendous free throw shooter this season, 82%.
You know, he gets to the line the last 3 seasons over 100 times. Certainly played more minutes at LIU last year and at Hofstra the year before. His minutes have been diminished a little bit this year playing for the Minutemen, but always got himself to the line in the past.
UMass has been able to nullify Jimerson a little bit. Hargrove twirling to the basket, gets fouled. Number 2 on Matt Cross. Take a look back at this one.
Terrence Hargrove with just a quick roll, goes off at 2 feet. Finishes strong.
There's head coach Travis Ford, did such a good job here, taking UMass to the NIT Championship 2007-8.
And to his credit, Jay, he knew they would be good this year, or could be good, had the potential to be good. Scheduled very hard, perhaps one of the toughest non-league schedules Coach Ford put together in the Atlantic 10. A couple hiccups along the way that were not expected, but certainly not backing down for the challenge.
Well, as a league, you really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
You'd like more teams to try and schedule up and get some of those premium wins for the conference. Hargrove off the mark. Misses both. 1:15 to go here in the first half. Cross on the drive. Cross again has it knocked away by Hargrove and can't save it. Minutemen will turn it over with 1 minute left to play.
Cross put the ball on the floor, just trying to get to the rim, just couldn't find any space right there. Now 2 for 7 from the field in this game, only 4 points.
It was 1 of 7 from the floor against the Bonnies. 4 points there. St. Louis trying to trim a 10-point deficit. Collins so good on the yo-yo, and another dunk for Okoro.
Same thing as we saw before. Forced Conte to help out, left his man, didn't make the second rotation to Okoro from the perimeter. First rotation great, second rotation non-existent on both those plays.
Third assist of the night for Yuri Collins. Fernandez left open, he'll take the 3, it's good. Noah Fernandez with the triple.
It's so good to see Noah from behind the three-point line, now 1 for 2 in this ball game, 41% on the season.
He's got 9, it's the largest lead of the game for Massachusetts.
And when he's making threes, they're creating separation on the scoreboard.
And he hasn't picked up any fouls in the first half either. Collins. Final shot. Collins gets to the bucket, missed it all, and UMass will take an 11-point lead into halftime. Well, you thought this game might be played at a rapid pace, and it has been, but it's been in favor of the Minutemen. We will come back, dissect and discuss, and take you down a little memory lane here with Travis Ford.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
it's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. to never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options,